In the distant future, Earth had transformed into a sprawling metropolis, teeming with humanity's achievements and failures. Skyscrapers pierced the heavens, their glass facades reflecting a world that seemed invincible. Yet, beneath the surface of civilization lay the remnants of a once thriving ecosystem, now scarred by the relentless expansion of human dominance. Among the creatures that once roamed freely were the Volari, a race of intelligent reptilian beings. With shimmering scales and sharp instincts, they were apex predators, ruling the dense forests and vast plains. Their society was complex, built around a deep understanding of nature and a respect for the balance of life. The Volari communicated through a blend of sounds and body language, forming bonds that transcended mere survival. For centuries, the Volari thrived, hunting the lesser creatures of the world and coexisting with the occasional human settlement. However, as humanity advanced, their ambitions grew unchecked. The Volari, once considered the undisputed rulers of the wild, began to feel the tightening grip of human encroachment. As the years went by, the Volari noticed the changes around them. Their habitats were being bulldozed for new developments. The vast forests that had once echoed with their calls were silenced by the sounds of machinery, and with each passing day, their population dwindled as the encroachment continued. The leader of the Volari, a wise and formidable figure named Karis, held a council to address the encroaching threat. The council convened under the ancient Talaran tree, a sacred monument that had witnessed generations of Volari history. The elders gathered, their scales glistening in the dappled sunlight, and Karis spoke with authority. "We cannot allow our kind to vanish into history," Karis declared, his voice resonating through the assembly. "We must adapt and find a way to coexist with these humans, or we risk extinction." His words echoed in the hearts of the Volari. They had always been fierce and proud, but Karis's wisdom resonated. Perhaps there was a way to negotiate peace and protect their legacy. Meanwhile, in the human world, a young scientist named Dr. Alara Quinn studied the Volari from afar. Fascinated by their intelligence and social structure, she had dedicated her life to understanding these magnificent creatures. As the Volari struggled against the tide of human expansion, Alara became their silent ally, advocating for their protection. One fateful evening, while conducting her research in the field, Alara encountered a lone Volari named Soren. Injured and cornered by a pack of rogue poachers, Soren had been separated from his group. Ilara's heart raced as she intervened, using her knowledge of animal behavior to distract the poachers long enough for Soren to escape. In the days that followed, Soren and Alara formed an unlikely bond. She learned to understand his vocalizations and gestures, and in return, Soren shared the intricacies of Volari culture. Together, they plotted a course for mutual survival. Alara believed that if she could demonstrate the Volari's intelligence and value to the ecosystem, perhaps she could sway public opinion and policy in their favor. As Soren healed, he introduced Alara to the Volari community, hidden deep within the remnants of their ancestral lands. Karis welcomed her with caution, recognizing the potential in this human ally. With Alara's guidance, they began to devise a plan to showcase the Volari's intelligence to the world. Their opportunity arose during an international environmental conference, where Alara had secured a chance to present her findings. She proposed a radical idea, a live demonstration of Volari intelligence and their role in maintaining ecological balance. It was a risk, but it was one they had to take. On the day of the presentation, a diverse crowd gathered in the conference hall, with representatives from various nations and organizations. Alara stood at the forefront, her heart pounding with a mix of fear and hope. As she began her presentation, she unveiled the stunning visuals of Volari habitats and their intricate social structures. Then, with a wave of her hand, the curtain rose, revealing Soren and a small group of Volari who had agreed to participate. Gasps filled the hall as the Volari entered, their majestic forms captivating the audience. Soren, alongside a few others, demonstrated their problem-solving skills, showcasing their ability to work collaboratively to overcome obstacles. The demonstration was a success. Alara's passion shone through as she explained the importance of preserving the Volari and their ecosystems. The crowd was spellbound, witnessing a side of nature they had never considered. However, not everyone in attendance was supportive. A faction of industrialists saw the Volari as an obstacle to their profit-driven ambitions. They quickly dismissed the presentation, labeling it as a mere stunt. Yet the seeds of change had been sown. As the conference concluded, a movement began to take shape. Activists rallied to protect the Volari, calling for the establishment of wildlife reserves and stricter regulations against poaching. Ilara and Karis became symbols of hope, their partnership bridging the gap between two worlds. Despite the growing support, the conflict escalated. The industrialists, unwilling to relinquish their grip, hired mercenaries to hunt the Volari and silence their advocates. Ilara received threats, but her resolve only strengthened. In a desperate bid to save their kind, Karis and Soren rallied their remaining clan members. They set traps, not for humans, but to protect their territory from the encroaching mercenaries. The Volari fought back not with sheer force, but with cunning strategies honed over centuries of survival. The final confrontation was swift and brutal. Under the cover of night, the Volari ambushed the mercenaries, utilizing the landscape to their advantage. In a blend of stealth and strategy, they repelled the attackers, demonstrating that they were far from extinct. The aftermath of the battle sent shockwaves through the media. Footage of the Volari defending their home captivated the world, shifting public opinion. The Volari were no longer just an endangered species. They were warriors fighting for their existence. With newfound support, a coalition of nations formed, dedicated to the preservation of the Volari and their habitats. Laws were enacted and protected areas were established, allowing the Volari to reclaim their rightful place in the ecosystem. In the years that followed, the Volari thrived, no longer seen as mere predators but as vital members of a shared planet. Ilara became a renowned conservationist, her work bridging the gap between humanity and the Volari. As Karis watched the next generation of Volari play in the forests, he felt a sense of pride. They had fought against the tide and emerged victorious. The world had learned that strength did not only lie in dominance, but in coexistence and understanding. In the end, they were no longer considered apex predators. Rather, they were allies in the intricate web of life that defined their world. And as long as there were voices willing to speak for them, the Volari would endure.